The one MDB scandal is more than enough proof to show how mainstream media is extremely biased and extremely selective, and this actually caters directly towards the point given by side of government. It is at the point where foreign journalists. It is at the point where social media has to expose in order for people to be informed. They believe that it proves how mainstream media is not as reliable as one might seem. And also tackling the point is the point of checks and balances. We believe that in social media, the fact that you can fairly easily fact check and point out certain inconsistencies, the point that you can actually comment on all these posts, all these things provide you checks and balances to ensure that little to none fake news circulate on social media. Even to the worst case scenario, which we concede might happen where fake news will be circulated, we believe that it is fine. We are willing to write that off because you can actually access a whole lot of other people, and also the amount of fake news is filtered and also and also battle out all of these checks and balances. So, argumentation. Now, the first argument is how accessibility results in a wider reach of audience. Two premises. The first being how social media is prevalent to this world, and I don't think anyone can actually deny that. The fact that is heavily marketed shows how people all around the world will actually stumble and access social media, especially in a digital age where people actually know how to operate social media optimally. Secondly, is that news should intend to inform. This argument is especially important because when you consider journalism and news, the main point is to inform people. So if you actually fail in that point, you fail as a journalist. So the second premise tackles you how news should tell people what they have to know, what is happening, to avoid things like bigotry, to form things like assumptions, all these things that actually result in social disorder. The impact of fear is twofold. Number one is geopolitical awareness increases. So people now are more aware of what is happening around them. People understand and complain less. People want actually understand why exactly economic recessions are happening. People actually understand why all of these traits, all of these like tensions are happening. And secondly, bigotry and ignorance decrease. I think that all of these things are especially important for journalism, and these all these things have to be considered by self-government, and they have to defend a world where all of these things decrease. The increase, or at least do not increase as much as our do. Second argumentation, however, is that efficiency of news outlets actually the news outlets that actually function better. The premise here is two. Number one is that social media has a sort of appeal. It is no wonder how social media has boomed into popularity so much in the past few years, because it has this very special appeal where people stay longer, where people are more inclined to click on it, people check on it every single day. Secondly, social media is easily updated to the point where it is fairly easy for you to keep on track for things such as elections, for things such as updates in war. All of these things are made not possible by mainstream media in the form of news that happens once every single day, in the form of newspaper outlets that has to be like printed every single day with laborious amounts of resources being put into it. Now the impact here now it's honestly proven that the news outlets are more efficient in the sense that people actually in the sense that it actually provides concise journalism, in the sense that it actually makes people more interested to read the news. The impacts here are twofold. Number one, how it increases interest of people, especially young people who are just becoming mature, to actually be aware of things that are happening around them. Things that are happening around them. We believe that this is the main problem with journalism, and something that said a government has to live with that. Secondly, is that actually more people stay, because compare a world outside a government where people have to read 2-3 pages long lengths of articles to a simple social media or like a Twitter thread. Of course, both of these platforms and alternatives provide to you the same amount of news, but one is more appealing than the other. Therefore, one will cause people to stay, and one will most likely cause people to click off and in the middle of them reading because they find it absolutely boring. So to weigh all these two arguments down, right? Number one is that we believe that it is important for you to reach audiences more and more. Social media provides you tools such as marketing, such as popping up all of these ads, that there's all these billboards, things that side of government has to reply to. So explain to the house why by simply just promoting how you should watch news at 8 p.m. every single night is more accessible, is more widespread as compared to social media that you can just access with a click of your phone. Secondly, is that we provide to you how it is more efficient in the sense that it provides concise journalism that is effective and it reaches audiences and audiences actually stay. Provide to us why how more and more people are actually becoming disinterested in reading law lengthy articles, how all this would change outside of government. We've told you how all these things are not existent on side of opposition. How these things are not existent on side of opposition because we actually provide to you social media in the sense that social media tries to make people stay, tries to make people interested, and tries to make people come again more, come back again and again and again. So the trade-off here is simple. You concede that at the worst case scenario, and the worst case scenario that people will actually consume fake news. We believe that number one, we have checks and balances that people can call out. The more like the people can call out, and then this actually looks like you reading it on social media, and then you reading the comments. The comments say this is legit. The comments say this is fake. All these things are not accessible and are not readily are not available in mainstream media, where you simply have to assume that all the things that they write are concise, all the things that they write are accurate, all these the things that they write have been thoroughly fact checked. You consume things blindly and are not provided with an alternative point of view like what social media does. And lastly, and, last, and lastly, we say to you that even at the worst case scenario where more people like actually consume fake news, which we believe isn't actually true. Actually, more people actually have access to true news and concise news, and we think that that is the main point of this debate. Thank you.